All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going deep into the world of checkpoint certifications,
Oh, yeah.
specifically the CCTA R81.20 exam.
The 156,582.
That's right, exam code 156582 for those who want to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go through some practice questions.
Yeah.
But, we're not about just memorizing facts here.
Oh, no.
We want to really understand the material.
Absolutely. It's about understanding.
So we're going to use these practice questions to kind of unlock those key concepts.
Yeah, I like that.
That'll help you all ace that exam.
Yeah, and it's more than just the exam, right?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. This
Yeah.
is like your toolkit to being a real checkpoint, administrator.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Question 1 throws us right into the command line.
Okay.
And I'll admit, this is where I get a little shaky.
All right.
I'm more of a
Well,
DE person.
yeah.
But the question says, which command gives you a detailed overview of system performance in Gaia OS?
So this one's a good one. It's CPview.
MeView.
You're going to want to get really familiar with this one.
All right. So break it down for me. Why is CPU so important?
Think of it like
Yep.
it's your vital signs monitor.
Okay.
For your system. It's going to show you everything that's happening under the hood in Gaia, your CPU usage, memory consumption,
Okay.
network traffic, all that good stuff. And in real time.
So if I'm troubleshooting like a slow server or something, CPview is my first stop.
Absolutely, 100%. Like you run CPview and you see CPU is pegged at 100%.
Yeah.
That's a huge red flag, right?
Right.
Could be a process gone rogue, misconfigured service,
Yeah.
all sorts of things. But without CPU,
You're flying blind.
you'd be flying blind.
Got it. Yeah. Now, the question also mentions Kimtho.
Yeah.
How's that different?
Good Pinfo is more like a quick snapshot.
Right.
It'll give you some basic information about Gaia,
Yeah.
but CFU gives you that deep dive, the real-time stuff.
The granular real-time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good troubleshooting?
Got it. So CPview, definitely adding that one to my list.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's move on to question 2. This one takes us to the user center.
All right.
And it says, why might you be unable to manage licenses even if you're an administrator?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this feels tricky.
It is. So it's highlighting the concept of control, granular control in the user center.
Okay.
So you might have admin privileges,
Yeah.
but you need to be designated as a support contact
Okay.
to manage those licenses.
So it's like you have the keys to the kingdom, but not to like the treasury or something?
Precisely.
Okay.
It's all about security and compliance.
Okay.
They want to make sure the right people are doing the right thing.
For sure.
So yeah, it's best practice, and the exam's definitely going to test you on this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't want just anyone messing with licenses.
Oh, no.
Okay, question 3 throws us into the world of network analysis.
Okay.
What's the process of capturing network packets for analysis called?
Oh, we're getting into the detective work now.
Ooh, I like it.
Like it's traffic debugging.
Okay.
Think of it like this. You know those network packets that's
Yeah.
like little messages going across the network?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to eavesdrop on those conversations to figure out what's wrong.
Okay, and how do we eavesdrop?
Good question.
The question mentions FW Monitor, TCP dump, and FWCTL Zybug.
Those are our tools.
Okay.
Our eavesdropping tools.
All right, so give me a little rundown on those. What are those two?
Okay, so each tool has its strengths.
Yeah.
FW Monitor gives you like a live view of your firewall activity.
Okay.
TCP dump is super powerful, versatile for capturing, analyzing network traffic. And then you've got FWCTL Zybug,
Okay.
which lets you get really specific with your debugging.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole arsenal of tools for this.
It is.
This is making me think of a time when I was working on this really tricky connectivity issue.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, it was bad. I had this web server that was just randomly dropping connection.
Ugh, the worst.
I was pulling my hair out.
Yeah.
But I bet you can guess what came in handy.
TCP dump.
TCP dump, exactly.
Oh.
I was able to capture the traffic, see exactly when those connections dropped.
Oh, wow.
Turned out it was a faulty network card. It was sending corrupted packets.
Sneaky.
I never would have found that without TCP dump.
See, that's why it's so important to understand these tools, right?
Totally.
It's not just theory. It's about solving real-world problems.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, let's keep moving.
All right.
Question 4 brings us back to the user center.
Okay.
It says, which of these is not a user classification?
Ooh.
This one feels like it's trying to trick me.
It might be. Checkpoint is very specific with their terminology,
Yeah.
so the answer is viewer.
Viewer.
Yeah, it sounds logical, right?
I would think so.
Like someone who can just view stuff.
Right.
But that's not how Checkpoint structures their user classifications.
So if I see viewer on the exam, I know it's a trap.
That's exactly it. You got to know their system inside and out.
Okay, got it.
Don't rely on what just sounds right.
For sure.
Go back to those definitions.
Okay, noted. Question 5.
Right?
This one ventures into the world of the OSI model.
Okay, love the OSI model.
He says, while troubleshooting MAC addresses and RP, which OSI layer are we dealing with?
Yeah, so,
And I know the OSI model can be a little intimidating for some people,
yeah,
but it's really just a framework
it is.
for understanding how networks communicate.
Right. It's not as complicated as it seems.
Yeah.
It breaks down network communication into 7 layers.
Yeah, like a layer cake.
Ooh, I like
Each layer has its own function.
Yeah, each one has a purpose.
Working together to make the whole thing delicious.
Or functional.
Well, or functional, yes. In this case, which layer are we dealing with?
So in this case, it's the data link layer.
Okay.
Layer 2.
Layer 2, data link layer.
Which is responsible for MAC addresses.
Okay.
Identifying devices on a network, and ARP,
Okay.
which translates those IP addresses into MAC addresses.
Gotcha. So devices can talk to each other.
Exactly.
So if I'm having trouble with devices communicating on the same network,
yeah,
I should be looking at layer 2.
you got it.
Okay, that's making a lot more sense now.
Awesome.
Okay, on to question 6.
All right.
This one introduces us to secure knowledge.
Ooh, yes.
And it says, what is Checkpoint's repository of troubleshooting documentation and best practices called?
That's secure knowledge.
Secure knowledge, and what is that exactly?
So secure knowledge is like your Checkpoint encyclopedia.
Oh, wow.
It's a treasure trove of
Okay.
information, anything from troubleshooting guides,
Yeah.
how-to articles, FAQs, release notes. It's all in there.
So if I'm ever stumped on something, secure knowledge is my first stop.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not just for troubleshooting.
Oh, really?
You can research new features, find configuration examples,
Okay.
stay up to date on best practices.
So it's like the ultimate Checkpoint resource.
It really is.
And it's free.
It's free, available to anyone.
Oh, I love free resources.
Me too.
Okay, well, questions 7 and 10 bring us back to the command line.
All right.
But this time, with a Linux twist.
Ooh.
Question 7 asks about a Linux command for real-time system monitoring.
Okay.
Now, this might seem a little out of place on a Checkpoint exam,
Yeah.
but why is it there?
Because remember, a lot of Checkpoint products
Yeah.
like Gaia run on Linux.
Right?
So understanding basic Linux commands is super helpful when you're troubleshooting.
So even though it's a Checkpoint exam,
Yeah,
brushing up on my Linux skills is a good idea?
absolutely. It's an investment that'll pay off big time.
Okay, I'm sold. Linux skills, it is.
There you go.
So question 7 mentions this command for real-time system monitoring.
Yeah.
That's our old friend Top, right?
It is. Top is like your dashboard
Okay.
for your Linux system. It's showing all what's happening in real time, CPU, memory,
Okay.
processes, all that.
Okay, so Top, definitely need to know that one.
Yep, for the exam and for real life.
Okay, and finally, let's wrap up this first part with questions 8 and 9.
All right.
These focus on Checkpoint's service request process.
Okay.
And I got to be honest, this isn't my favorite topic.
I understand. It can seem a little,
Bureaucratic.
yeah.
But it's important. So question 8 asks, how many categories of service requests does Checkpoint support?
So they have 4 main categories.
Okay.
Product defects, configuration assistance, general queries, and feature requests.
So it's like sorting your mail. You wouldn't send your bills to the same place you send like a birthday card.
Exactly.
Got to keep them separate.
Right.
And question 9 asks about a tool that helps streamline this process.
Yeah,
That's the Service Request Wizard.
that's it, the service request wizard.
What does that do?
It guides you through submitting a request.
Okay.
Make sure you give all the right information.
So you don't have to go back and forth a million times. With support.
What?
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that makes the whole process a little less scary.
It does. It does.
All right. Now, question 10 takes us back to the OSI model.
Okay.
Specifically, layer 3, the network layer.
Oh, right.
And the question is, at which OSI layer does routing occur?
Network layer.
Network layer. But I think it's worth refreshing our memories a little bit
Yeah.
on how the OSI model works.
Absolutely.
Because I know it could be a little confusing for some people.
Oh, yeah. It's fundamental, though.
Oh, it is. It's super
The
important.
networking.
So could you break it down for us?
Sure. Imagine it like building blocks.
Okay.
Each layer has its function in network communication.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very bottom, you got the physical layer. That's your cables, connectors, the physical stuff.
Okay, so the foundation of our building.
Yeah, and then you get up to data link layer,
Okay.
which handles those MAT addresses,
Right.
talking between devices on the same network.
Right. We talked about that before.
And then we go up to the network layer.
Network layer, where routing happens.
This is where we use those IP addresses,
Okay.
figure out the best path for data to travel across different networks.
So like a GPS for our data packets.
Exactly.
Okay, so routers operate at layer 3,
They do.
using those IP addresses to direct traffic.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where checkpoint firewalls are really powerful.
Okay.
They can inspect those packets, apply policies,
Yeah.
make decisions about what's allowed through.
Cool. So understanding the OSI model helps us see how Checkpoint works
Yeah,
within that bigger picture.
the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
It all connects.
And that's a key takeaway for the CCTA exam, right?
It is. They want to see that you understand how it all fits together.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All this knowledge will be helpful not just for the exam,
Yeah.
but for your whole career.
Absolutely.
Well, to all those future CCTA superstars out there, we wish you the best of luck.
Good luck.
And thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone. 16?